I'm DavidG, What on earth is Kundalini? Sheshnag Yoga Center. This video is about my new acquired softness and entering into a relationship with another human, which I'm happy to be doing, but I'm also a little bit scared about. Nothing's permanent, and I don't have high expectations. We'll see how we go as I go along. But basically, I've been hurt like every human. I carry these pains in my subtle body to do with protecting myself and my own vulnerability. At the core of my being, I am as soft as silk. But I've developed a lot of facades, protection mechanisms to keep people away. Because I personally don't want anyone in there to risk the chance of being hurt again, because I don't really want to go through the pain. I'm such an impressionable, sensitive person that I feel everyone. But I personally don't want to experience too much harshness, too much exploitation on a subtle level. I don't want to give myself away. I like my own obligations. I feel comfortable in my own identity. I feel comfortable in some of my own programming. But I have developed facades to protect myself. If you're lucky, I'll break down one or two, let you in a little bit, but I don't know if you get all the way to the centre. That's okay. That's my gig, to keep you away. What are the facades? I've developed one to do with being crazy. I like being crazy, or seen as crazy. It's not that I'm crazy, because I can't be diagnosed, but the crazy one happens through when the majority of people are invalidated by my representation of me and the truth that I embody. Not their truth, my truth. When they do get invalidated, they see me or project onto me that I'm psychologically insane. That's cool. I'm up for the Pepsi challenge as far as that goes, and no one's up for it to come and challenge me as far as psychological insanity goes. I don't perceive things outside this dimension. I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not anything to do with any of the schizotypal personality disorders, because I'm too consciously aware of the programming of the human framework and the human mind at this point in time. But that's one of the facades. I like to be seen as crazy. Another one was to do with my drug addiction. I like addictions. Everyone's addicted to something. I've never met anyone that's not addicted to at least something. But the healthy or non-substance abuse people that are addicted to something that isn't necessarily some sort of ingestion of chemicals to get out of it to escape from reality, they have a tendency to portray onto anyone that smokes drugs. They could be eating like fast food or drinking a can of Coca-Cola and be addicted to caffeine, or be addicted to work, be addicted to their children, whatever it is. But sometimes the invalidation of substance abuse gets projected onto me as a drug addict. I'm not really addicted. I actually use it to try and tone myself down, because people can't cope with me on a high vibe. This is how I'm supposed to be. Listen to me talk. The words are just flowing off my tongue. It's like we got to record it and maybe play it back. I don't know where the word's coming from. I'm blessed by the goddess Vach. But that's not the point. The point is that I like the cycle of addiction sometimes, and I endorse it because I like to keep people away. I don't want them close to me. I've got a facade of being a family person. I've got a facade of being a hard worker. I've got a facade that is to do with being hurt in the past. I've got big barriers to protect me from being hurt again. So I carry some of those things and put them up front to try and push people away. Also grow a beard to try and scare people off, but ironically some people like facial hair or body hair, so that sort of attracts them. So sometimes the facades actually don't work. This is more to do with me expressing some of my sacred and some of how I understand myself, in the hope that you may be able to reflect on your own self and be able to come to realise and appreciate yourself on a more harmonious level, or a more normal level. Everyone's got facades. I try to push people away because their energy could be inharmonious. I've developed some protection mechanisms to do with alcohol abuse, and I personally don't like to be in the environment of people that are alcoholics or abusing alcohol, because I've had 2 friends to die from alcoholism, which is really sad for me, and I miss them terribly. And I hope their souls are blessed by the great experience of life. So I've got a facade of protection. I've also got a facade which is inharmonious to the average person, especially if you're an intimidator by nature. But I've got one of accountability. I like to hold people accountable if they're expressing some form of life that is detrimental to my own well-being on maybe a physical, emotional or psychological level. The accountability facade, mate, that's pushed away so many people, especially narcissistic bullies, and they're the ones you want on side. I wish I could go back and maybe gratify these people rather than invalidate them, because then my career would be a whole lot better shape, but actually I can't. So I've pushed people away through my desire to hold them accountable and my desire for fairness. That's about it as far as facades go. I've also entered into a relationship as I've talked to my new partner, my consort. She's such a beautiful being, and as I've talked everyday life with her, I've been harsh to her, mate. I've talked about subjects that no one else talks about. I've put it in a way that allows her to reflect, allows me to also break down some barriers, and in the process I've opened myself up to one of the greatest loves that I've ever been able to experience, and it's phenomenal. But without being myself, being accepting in myself, being appreciative of my own programming, I wouldn't have been able to break down some of the facades to allow her close to me on a way that she functions. She's a very sensual being, a very conscious being. She likes to self-reflect. She also likes to be expressive in the human form. I'm a bit of a space cadet, mate. I like to stay in my cave. I don't really like interaction with people that much. I really love people at the end of the day. But from a protection perspective, I've also laid on this facade that I don't actually like people. I've also embodied the facade lately that I don't have friends, because the 2 wives that I did have, they both told me that I didn't have friends, so I believed them, and then I had this facade where I don't like people and I don't have friends. But actually I've got a lot of close friends that are really beautiful to me, and I'm touched by their acceptance of me and appreciation, and I hope that is mutually reflected. I've also softened up emotionally. I'm on the verge of tears as I acknowledge my friends and their beauty that they express towards me as human beings. I'm on the verge of tears when I think about my mate Brock and how he clocked out through accidental suicide. I'm very blessed to have people that are close to me and accept me in a way that allows me to be me and free without too much of their superimposed judgment. In the process, I've been able to work through some serious neuroses, serious blockages within my subtle body. I appreciate the being that's come into my life on an emotional level. I like the experience of maybe coming out of the cave into the human body, coming out of the spirit, going into feeling and communicating in a harmonious way environmentally, socially and culturally. I've been craving to be a part of a community. I've been asking about the ability to be able to relate to people on a soulful level, which is a great opportunity for me. As I soften, I connect with a lot of people. I'd like to acknowledge my friend in America who said, the love that you have for the children, express that to everyone. So I try. I don't really try, it's just me. I'm like freely expressive. She said, you don't have to let everyone else in though, omji, but you can express that love, and that love will be of great benefit to you in everyday life. So I've softened. Someone came into my life after 3 or 4 months of trying to accept myself and trying to soften and live from the heart. Now's the time for me to have a harmonious, loving experience, or at least attempt to. And I think that there is a great chance of success, and I believe that vibrationally there's a lot of compatibility there. Hopefully we don't rerun the past and the past hurt and the past pain that lies dormant within the subconscious psyche that sabotages any opportunity for awesomeness and the experience of love and closeness and everything that Tantra has to offer at the highest, most intimate level, where the blending of the male and female come together for an experience of unified love. See how we go. I'll get some of that. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev. Peace. Share the world. Sheshnag.com. Om Devaji. What on earth is Kundalini? Enough said.